All right, all right, all right. Welcome back, you inglorious bastards and magnificent bitches.
It has begun!
It is Don't Camus, and we're back for my thought of the day.
How dare
And
you!
we'll dare on, Greta. We will dare on, because that's how winning is done. And you will not tell me how or what to speak about or how to talk about it. Just like people on BitChute were getting mad because I talked about aliens the other day. Like, oh, you're on there. You want to see life. There's no life on the Earth, but now there's barely intelligent life. You want to. Blah, blah, blah. I didn't say I wanted to go find intelligent life in the universe. I said that I believe that the universe is so vast that we can't be the only life in the universe. And whether that is true or not, regardless of the fact, Earth's eventually going to be destroyed. And if humanity wants to survive long term, we need to move out into space. That's what I fucking said. And I also talked about scientist barriers and stuff, but that's fucking neither here nor there. If you're going to bitch about something, at least listen to what somebody says and actually know what they're talking about instead of talking out your ass. And bot attacks. I mean, if you have no fucking profile pictures, no videos, no nothing, I'm assuming your account is fake. Because most people, they have like videos, they have something. But when you have absolutely nothing, you're a fucking bot. I'm just throwing it out there. But back to this. Elon Musk is dominating the news cycle again. More of the Twitter and stuff, but not just that. We'll get into the updates on that, but he trolled Bill Gates. And he was talking about building a Hyperloop, which is kind of cool. So we're going to go over those two things, and then we're going to update you on the Twitter bid because he secured funding and he's in official talks with the board to actually purchase Twitter because we all knew it was going to win. You're not going to, like, that's absurd to turn down $30 above market value. They tried to fight it off, but I knew they wouldn't. But let's get into this first article. Elon Musk's The Boring Company. He has The Boring Company to take on Hyperloop project. So he wants to build a Hyperloop. That's like a fucking ultrasonic train, right? Like super fast train. Elon Musk said Sunday via Twitter that his tunnel bidding for urban transport business, The Boring Company, will attempt to build a high-speed and still theoretical Hyperloop in the coming years. In 2013, Musk put out a white paper that outlined the idea of a transport system that could send passengers and cargo in pods through a low-pressure tube at speeds in excess of 700 miles per hour. We never took on the project. Instead, Musk shared basic engineering plans and encouraged others to develop the concept. While several companies and researchers have been steadily working on Hyperloop for nearly a decade, there is not yet a working example of the system anywhere in the world. So he's going to try and build one. He made this technology and designed it for somebody and opened it up for other people to try and make money off it. So he's not the only one dominating this space of renovating new, greener technologies. But now he's going to have to bid on actually building one because you have to actually build a working model, even if it's a tiny model. You have to build a working model to make sure that your model can work, and then you got to test it to make a 700 miles per hour. It's pretty fast. You might sit in a chair like this. Musk founded the Boring Company in December 2016 on the premise that finding fast and effective ways to dig networks of tunnels for vehicles and high-speed trains would end traffic congestion. The Boring Company has landed some contracts with cities, but nothing that uses Hyperloop for high-speed transports. Its most mature project in Las Vegas uses Tesla vehicles to shuttle people along a 1.7-mile section of underground tunnels at the Las Vegas Convention Center. Last year, the company received initial approval for a special use permit and franchise agreement that will allow the Boeing Company to expand its Las Vegas Loop system to a 29-mile route with 51 stations that would include stops at casinos along the Vegas Strip, the city's football stadium, and UNLV. It would eventually reach the McCarthy International Airport. Now, that's a nice city all underneath Vegas. We should probably be instituting this technology. Musk's tweet in the vehicle was responded to other tweets listing cities with worst traffic in the world. Comes last week, a Boeing Company raised $675 million of Series C funding and pushed the values of it. Because if we're underground in a tunnel, we can filter and collect the emissions. We can keep it out of the air, and then we can recycle it into other things, which I don't know how that would work, but it's an idea that just popped in my mind. Cities with the worst traffic in the world: London, Paris, Brussels, Moscow, New York City, Chicago, Rome, Bogota, Pillar, and Istanbul. Where's Boston? Boston should be on that list. Boston has probably worse traffic than New York City. A tunnel transportation loop from Baton Rouge to New Orleans would be awesome. In the coming years, Boeing Company will attempt to build a working Hyperloop. From a known physics standpoint, this is the fastest possible way of getting from one city center to another for distances less than 2,000 miles. Starship is faster for longer journeys. I love that Starship comment he keeps making. Why didn't you do this? Because I'm building Starship. He also claimed Hyperloop, the other underground tunnels, will be also immune to surface weather conditions such as hurricanes. However, there is well-documented evidence of subways which are located in underground tunnels flooding. For instance, the New York subway flooded in 2012 when Hurricane Sandy hit the coast. The Metropolitan Transportation Authority has since installed floodgates in 68 low-lying subways and Port Authority Houston Station in Lower Manhattan. But I mean, they weren't really designed to handle that, so it is what it is. It's just an hour north of NOLA, and it would be helpful ESP during hurricane evacuations. Underground tunnels are immune to surface weather conditions. Subways are good examples, so it wouldn't matter to Hyperloop if a hurricane was raging on the surface. You wouldn't even notice. Unless your shit fucking was filling up with water, like they just said might happen. Hyperloop on the surface, Hyperloop on the underground. Being able to travel fucking 2,000 miles at 700 miles an hour, like, so it's 700 miles an hour, right? I'm going to pause this and do some math. Unpause it. All right, there, we unpaused it. So I looked it up. It's, so you can see it, it's 2,982.6 miles from LA to Boston, according to Google. That's 44 hours to get there driving. Now, if we divide that by 700, because it's going to be like a roughly 700 miles per hour, that's 4.2608571,429, or 4.3 hours to get from Boston to LA via this theoretical Hyperloop. Now, 4 hours to go from Boston to LA would be incredible advancements in human travel and connectivity of this country and moving supplies and such. And we should just get on this. I'm glad I'm glad somebody's thinking this stuff through, even though people consider him a Bond villain. But I digress, and we'll move on. I'm just fucking saying. Thank you for checking out this clip of my Thought of the Day podcast. You can catch this podcast every Tuesday through Friday at that'sonpoint.info by 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because that's how winning is done. New clips go out daily, and we can't do this without you, so we appreciate your support. With that being said, consider joining for $5 a month, and you get early access to the uncensored version of this, early access to our weekly That's On Point podcast, and access to exclusive content only for members. All the money that we receive is going to go funnel back into this to hire more journalists and do more things for you guys, because that's how winning is done. It really is. We got a merch store and stuff. You can help there, and if you can't help via money, you can always just leave a comment, and share this out there, because that helps us more than you can immensely know. That's the best way to help. Just leave a comment, and share. And if you're listening to us, leave a review. Leave a good review. Help us boost us in the podcast ratings and get us up there, because that's how winning is done. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.